Have you ever noticed that one small, quiet correction in a conversation, something as simple as clarifying a fact, reframing a suggestion, or setting a soft boundary, can open doors that a dramatic speech never did? If so, you're witnessing a principle many people ignore. Social capital behaves like a slow accumulating currency, and small acts of courage are its steady deposits. Today, we'll explore why tiny, regular acts of honesty and boundary setting build trust more reliably than rare, flashy bravery. We'll look under the hood at the psychology that makes this true. And finally, you'll get a practical toolkit of daily microactions that let you invest in your reputation without becoming performative or exhausting yourself. Imagine two people. One bursts into rooms with big declarations, polarizing opinions, and occasional grand gestures. The other quietly corrects misinformation when it matters, offers sincere thanks to those who helped, gently pushes back when a task is unfair, and consistently follows through. Over time, colleagues remember the second person as dependable, clear, and trustworthy, the kind of person you think of when opportunity appears. The first may be dramatic, memorable for a moment, and sometimes rewarded, but their social balance sheet is volatile. Why? Because human social systems evolved on slow timescales. Trust is not a one-off transaction, but an emergent property of repeated interactions. At a neural level, humans are pattern detectors wired to evaluate consistency. Oxytocin and dopamine reward predictable reciprocal cooperation. The amygdala and social pain networks punish unpredictability and betrayal. Philosophically, trust functions like a form of moral capital in communities. It's not just what you do once, but what others can expect of you tomorrow. So the core idea is simple. Small, consistent acts of vulnerability, clarity, and boundary maintenance are low-risk, high-compounding deposits into a social account that pays interest over months and years. To make this practical, let's break it down into three clear parts: what the quiet currency looks like, why it works, and a toolkit of daily practices you can start tonight. First, what counts as a deposit? Deposits are small behaviors that signal reliability, competence, and benevolence without demanding drama. Examples: offering a single specific piece of help and following through, correcting a mistaken fact with curiosity instead of contempt, saying, "I don't know, but I can find out," returning a message within a reasonable window, owning a small mistake and stating the fix, asking a clarifying question that shows you were truly listening, setting a gentle boundary about your time and keeping it. These acts are tiny, often a sentence or two, but they create predictability, and predictability breeds trust. Second, why do these tiny acts compound? Think of social capital like a savings account with low, steady interest rather than a lottery ticket. One dramatic act is like a sudden deposit, large and attention-grabbing, but it doesn't change the account's baseline. Regular deposits, even small ones, change the baseline expectation of your behavior. The brain prefers models it can use. If you reliably show up in small ways, other people's internal models of you become updated. They are someone who follows through. They clarify instead of gaslighting. They protect their time. When opportunity arises, project leads, recommendations, emotional support, someone with consistent deposits is the safer bet. There's also a social signaling advantage. Small acts are often ambiguous in intent, which makes them safer for observers to accept. Large acts are obvious and judged more harshly if motives are questioned. Now the toolkit. Concrete, repeatable practices that let you invest quietly but powerfully. Tool 1. The one-sentence follow-through. When you promise something, commit to one clear sentence of follow-up. Example: "I'll send the draft by Wednesday. If anything changes, I'll message you." Small, explicit commitments reduce ambiguity and are easy to fulfill. Tool 2. The correct with curiosity pattern. When you need to correct someone, do it in 2 steps. 1. I think there's another way to look at this. 2. Share the fact or perspective and offer a source or personal context. This softens correction and increases receptivity. Tool 3. The boundary one-liner. Craft a short, polite phrase to protect your time or energy. "I can't take that on right now, but I can help find someone who can." Practicing this reduces the stress of saying no and preserves goodwill. Tool 4. The micro-recognition ritual. Once a week, send one specific sincere message of appreciation to a colleague or friend. No flattery, just an observant line. "I appreciated how you explained X yesterday. It saved me time." These tiny recognitions compound into goodwill. Tool 5. The 2-minute clarifier. In conversations, use a 120-second habit. After someone finishes, Paraphrase back one key point and ask a clarifying question. This signals deep listening and reduces miscommunication. Tool 6. The public ledger. Keep a personal log, digital or paper, of 3 small follow-throughs you did each day. This trains attention to micro-deposits and reinforces identity. I am someone who does what I say. Tool 7. The safety scaled exposure. If vulnerability feels risky, scale it. Start with a neutral arena, small group chat, and reveal a minor genuine thing, a small mistake, a preference. Track responses. Often you'll find they're kinder than anticipated and your deposit registers. Tool 8. The repair script. When you slip, miss a deadline, or snap, use a short repair sequence. Acknowledge, explain briefly, not to justify, state the fix, and invite feedback. E.g., I missed the draft. That was on me. I'll send it by noon and would appreciate any quick notes. Repair done well can actually increase trust because it shows accountability. Tool 9. The trusted cascade. Choose 3 people you trust and make a habit of sharing the micro-recognition ritual with them. Ask them to notice and call out one quiet deposit you made week to week. This social feedback loop accelerates reputation building. Tool 10. The value anchor. Before any risky interaction, remind yourself of the value you offer and align your micro-action to it. I add clarity. I'll correct gently, or I bring reliability. I'll follow up. This reduces the performative pressure to be loud and keeps actions aligned with substance. To turn theory into habit, here are 3 simple daily exercises. Exercise A. The 5-minute deposit. Each morning, identify one small action that will be your deposit for the day. Send a concise follow-up, correct one minor inaccuracy, say a short thank you. Do it within the first 3 hours. Exercise B. The evening ledger. Before bed, write one line about how someone responded to your deposit. Did it land? What changed? This reflective practice sharpens learning. Exercise C. The weekly rebalancer. Once a week, pick one area where your deposits are low, listening, reliability, boundaries, and schedule 3 tiny tasks to address it for that week. These exercises are intentionally low friction because the power is in repetition, not drama. It's also important to understand a few traps and boundaries. Trap 1. Confusing being quiet with being passive. Deposits require intentionality. Passive niceness without clarity erodes trust because people can't predict your behavior. Trap 2. Using small acts as manipulation. The goal is genuine reciprocity, not earning favor through calculation. If your deposits feel strategic and disingenuous, they'll backfire. Trap 3. Over-depositing until burnout. Social capital is not infinite. You must set boundaries so that generosity doesn't turn into depletion. Philosophically, this approach honors both Stoic prudence and relational ethics. Prudence teaches measured, repeatable action. Relational ethics emphasizes responsibility to others through reliability and repair. Psychologically, it uses habit formation to rewire how others perceive you and how you perceive yourself. The practical payoff is wide. Better professional recommendations, deeper friendships, smoother teamwork, and a reputation that precedes you. Not because you shouted loudest, but because people learn to rely on you. Let's end with a short script bank you can copy and adapt. 3 lines each for gratitude, correction, and boundary. Gratitude. Quick note. Thank you for X. It made Y easier for me. Correction. I might be wrong, but I read that X is actually Y. Happy to share the source if it helps. Boundary. I can't take that on this week. I can do X next week or suggest someone who can help now. Practice these until they sit comfortably in your mouth. They are low-cost, high-return deposits. Finally, think of your reputation not as a public billboard but as a private ledger people consult when opportunities arrive. By choosing small, regular acts of clarity, kindness, and accountability, you convert everyday moments into durable credibility. If you try one micro-deposit today, send a precise thank you, correct something gently, or protect a minute of your time, notice how it changes the next conversation you have. If this felt useful, invest in the channel the same way, like share and subscribe to Mind Unlocked so we can keep delivering short, evidence-based practices that act like small deposits into your mind's capital. Because building a life of trust is not a single gesture but a lifetime of tiny, courageous choices.